In this video, I will show you how to get started with 3D modeling. So, the software I will use for all my videos, I will use Blender. It's free and open source. So let's get started. So over here, I'm on blender.org, the site where you can download Blender. All links will be in the description. I will press download. And I'm on Mac, it automatically detected. So I'll download Blender 2.92. So while we wait for Blender to download, I will talk about my journey through 3D modeling. I started in July of last year. I started with the donut tutorial by Blender Guru. And I've started working on my own projects fairly early on. And in December of last year, I used my 3D modeling skills and my programming skills to make this video game project. So Blender is finally done installing. So if you're on Mac, just drag it into your applications folder. Yeah, Windows probably be something similar along the lines. So let's go into Launchpad or Start if you're on Start menu if you're on Windows. Hit this search, type in Blender. Blender is an app downloaded from the internet. Are you sure you want to open it? Yeah, we do. It's safe. So over here, when we're on Blender for the first time, it looks intimidating. There are a lot of different settings. Don't worry, we will walk through everything you need to know. So, language, we'll select English. If you're watching this from another part of the world, welcome. You can change it to whatever language works for you. Shortcuts, we'll keep it to Blender shortcuts. And we're going to select, see, the one thing unique about Blender from other software reviews, use right click to select stuff and use left click to tinker with, but in Blender it's in reverse, so it takes a while to get into that mindset. So use left, spacebar play, that's for animation purposes. Theme, dark mode is the way to go. Unless your eyes prefer light mode. Some people do prefer light mode for their eyes. I'm not here to judge you. Feel free to use light mode, but I'll just use dark mode. Hit next, and there we have it. We're in the layout view for the very first time. Yay! Did a lot of different things. Let's walk through everything. Over here is your hierarchy, which shows that we have a camera, cube, and the light. This cube is your friend. Do not delete him. I repeat, do not delete the default cube. There's my quick PSA about the default cube. And over here are our panels. Well, the ones we're going to use in this video are this material panel and this scene panel. Fairly easy. So over here right now we have the select box, so that's how I selected the camera. I selected the default cube. I selected the point light. Over here is the cursor. You can change the cursor. I highly don't recommend not tinkering with that. Just keep it at the 3D origin. It's best for exporting when you're exporting it as animations or for games. Move tool. So I'll show you a quick rundown on how to use all these tools. Let's select the move tool. Let's move it along the X. Red is the X-axis. And I'll just use Command Z to undo that. Control Z if you're on Windows. And I'll do this along the Y-axis too. Y-axis is green, X-axis is red, and the Z-axis is blue. Okay, perfect. And rotate, it works the same way. X-axis, Y-axis, Z-axis. Let's undo all of that. scale. Scale along the X makes things wider. Scale along the Y makes things longer. Scale along the Z makes things taller. And over here, it's all of them put together. You can move, you can scale, you can rotate. I rarely ever use this. There's no use for it. I always stick with move, rotate, scale. So now, let's get to making our simple Hello World project, Jenga Blocks. So let's scale, let's make this a little bit longer. I think that'll do. Let's make it a bit shorter. Works fine. Maybe let's make it a little less longer. If you want to replicate these, I will show you my dimensions right now by going to the numbers panel by pressing N on your keyboard. And here are my scales. You can just use these scales and you get a lot of other cool information here. You get the information about the transform, its location, its rotation, its scale, and its dimensions, and what active tool, and your view. And now what I'll do is let's make more. How do we do that? Let's select our cube. Let's select our rectangle, the prism. Right click, hit duplicate objects, and you see it's glowing white. To keep it in place, let's hit escape, and let's move it along the x-axis like so. There we go. Now let's select this one, right click, duplicate one more time. There we go, nice and easy. Hope that wasn't too hard. Now I will show you how to make the layer. So let's select all of them. Hit the move tool. Hit right click, duplicate objects, hit escape. I just did that with my middle mouse. Recommend having a mouse 10 out of 10. So now let's move that up, just like that. And let's rotate it, selecting the rotate tool, rotate along the Z. Like that. And let's make this better. Go ahead and hit the move tool, let's move it inward, move it like that. Let's move it up a little bit more so it doesn't look like it's touching. And I'm zooming in by using my middle mouse, but if you don't have a mouse, you can just use your trackpad and let's do that. Let's move this. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Let's just move. This will be very unique Jenga blocks. I don't know how you. Very unique. So now let's select these. I'm just using a little mouse button to get the view I want. Select that, hit right click, duplicate objects, hit escape. Do that. And there you go. You now have Jenga blocks, sort of. Let's tuck these in. So the gaps aren't so wide. And it looks like part of it is in the other one, so let's just select these 6. Move it up. See the move gizmo? Perfect. Okay, so these don't look perfect, but that's totally fine. We're just here to learn. Okay, so that's how you did the layout. We're good on layout. So next, I'll show you how to color them. Let's go to the material. Okay, let's go to the material view by selecting this one. It's the next button over. So you can see they're white at the moment. So let's make them the color of actual Jenga blocks. One way you could do that is by going here. Select any image, copy the image address. imagecolorpicker.com, I'll link that below. It's your image. Control V, Command V, whatever, it's fine. And let's select that. Actually, let's select the bright part. Let's make it look bright. So there's our hex code. Let's copy that and go into Blender, base color, go to the hex, delete that, and hit Control V. And there you have it, your Jenga blocks. So now, last thing I'll show you is how to render this scene. So we'll go to Add, hit Mesh, Plane, and Scale. Let's make it pretty big along the X. Let's make it equally so along the Y. Go back to the select box and like, oh no, some of them are below. That's okay. Let's select everything. Move tool, move it up. Oh, I've selected the plane too. So if that happens, just do shift right click on that. Just shift click it one more time to unselect and move that up. So now now let's go into our camera view it's right next to the number 1 along the top. Hit that and go into view camera. And over here you can see we don't have all of our Jenga blocks. That's totally fine. I already hit the number panel. If you didn't, just hit and go to block to camera view and use your mouse to adjust it like so, and scroll back just a bit. And let's make the scene more lively by adding some lights. There are 4 different types of light: point, sun, spot, and area. I like to use area light, so let's right click on this one, hit delete, go to add, go to light, go to area. Let's move it over here. We want it here. And let's select the scale gizmo. Let's make it bigger along the X. It's going in the X. Strange. Okay, that's fine too. Actually, no, I don't want it to. Okay, let's get out of the camera view for the moment by selecting that symbol next to the number 1 and go out of it by selecting the view camera one more time. And over here you can see that we don't want that. Let's scale it. Let's not make it so wide. Let's keep doing that a few times. Scale along the Y, like so. And now you can see the light's not emitting that well. That's fine. Let's change it to 2000. And this is where you can get creative with the lighting and I'll right click, hit duplicate objects, go to the move tool, and move it over like that. Go back to the camera view by selecting that symbol next to the number 1 on the keyboard and view camera. If you have a number pad on your keyboard, you can just press 0. Little trick for you. I'll show you more keyboard shortcuts in the next video. And let's make this scene more lively by tinkering with, I like to tinker with ambient occlusion, bloom, and screen place reflection. You get a little description about. So ambient occlusion, it just makes the shadowing look nicer by click the box to enable it. Let's see, right now without ambient occlusion it looks like that. If we increase it, you can see shadow becoming up. Oh, you can see the shadow more stronger with. And let's hit bloom and screen place reflection so it looks nice and reflective. Okay, I'll just get into camera view. I'll get out of camera view again. We'll just make these a little bit higher to make the shadows smaller, which will result in us making these lights brighter. I will make a lighting tutorial in the future. This is just something simple. Keep it simple. I like keeping things simple. And last, let's make the floor though. Let's make the floor have a color. Let's select plus material. Before it was just the default material. That's what we changed earlier. And now let's make this. You can make this all the way white, or let's make with the dark color like that. I'll make this a light color. By no means for composition artists. So let's just make this a light color so it looks nice. And go over here, hit render image. And there you have it, your very first Blender render, how to make Jenga blocks in Blender 3D. Now that we finished rendering, I'll show you how to save it by pressing Save As. Here. And let's create a folder called Learn Blender 3D. And let's just call this 3D modeling. 3D modeling. And whatever, let's just call it out the video title, how to get started with 3D modeling. The one I have earlier, that's just I made it to test this tutorial out. And now let's just call this Jenga Blocks.png. Save as image. Close out of that. And if you want to tinker this in the future, go to File, Save Recent, and let's call this Hello World.blend. If you're in the programming world, the Hello World is your first project, so this is your first Blender project, so let's call this Hello World.blend and hit Save As. And there you have it. Thanks for watching the video. Please leave any advice or future things that you want to learn how to model, and I'll see you next video.